What is up, guys? Welcome back to Reject Films, or welcome for the first time if you're a new subscriber. Today, we're going to be reviewing the film from Dark Sky Films, 1BR, or One Bedroom, however you want to say it. This is a 2020 release, or 2019, depending on if you go by the case or IMDb. This does get a 5.7 on IMDb, I do believe. Yep, 5.7 on IMDb. Yeah, so let's do what I've been doing lately, and I'll read you the short synopsis here, okay? Which I just did not too long ago when I got this in the mail. After leaving behind a painful past to follow her dreams, Sarah scores the perfect Hollywood apartment. But something is not right. Unable to sleep, tormented by strange noises and threatening notes, her new life quickly starts to unravel. By the time she learns the horrifying truth, it's too late. Caught in a waking nightmare, Sarah must find the strength to hold on to her crumbling sanity or be trapped forever in existential hell. So, very short synopsis here. But that's basically what this is. I wouldn't say, like, as far as, like, the threatening notes and all that kind of stuff. So, the young girl, Sarah, played by Nicole Bloom, which I'm not too familiar with, moves into an apartment after she just wants to get away from everything, and she wants to move to LA and kind of start a new life and everything like that. Upon arriving there, she starts to realize it's not quite what it seems. People start acting kind of strange. She brings in a cat with her. There's supposed to be no pets allowed. She tries to hide that. There is kind of a what you think might be a romance kind of blooming between her and the character of Brian, who is just kind of always helping her, kind of always there and everything. And everyone's super nice at first and all that stuff. And then it starts pretty quickly to the point of where she gets the one threatening note about the cat. So as far as threatening letters or whatever, there's only one threatening letter. And they're like, hey, some people are allergic to these things and everything like that. So when they find out, they don't take too kindly to her having a cat. I'm not going to say what happens. We'll leave that for you guys to see when you watch this for yourself, which I highly recommend that you do. I definitely enjoyed this film, but we'll get to more of that later on. I'll try to make this review pretty short. But yeah, once she's there, she does hear some noises as she's sleeping. She thinks it's the plumbing and things like that. And she asks other people if they hear it as well, and they don't know what she's talking about. But shortly after the movie gets going, they try to get her to conform to their ways. And this movie is basically a cult movie. When I seen something about it, I watched the trailer right before I watched it. I hadn't watched the trailer beforehand, and it said something about a cult movie. I thought maybe it was saying a cult classic, but it is a cult movie in the way of like, Scientology or like the Manson family or, all your cults. And watching some of the features on here with the director, he went back to what he remembered from back in the early days of all this stuff when he moved to LA and everything and all the different things that were going on. And he drew inspiration from all these different cults and stuff that were popping up, especially, the Manson family. Yeah, so like I say, it's basically a movie about a cult that is confined to this apartment complex, and they try to get her to conform to be one of them. And of course, she resists at first and everything. They begin to torture her.
This is a stress position. It's designed to be painful. In a few minutes, it'll start to hurt. In an hour, it'll seem unbearable. When those lights are on, you do not move, no matter what. When they turn off, you can rest.
And everything like that. Of course, she doesn't want to be there. She has to kind of convince herself that she does want to be there because there's no other way out of this. Everybody is in on it. There's, tons of residents, and they're all, trying to get her to conform to their ways. I keep going back to that, but yeah, and it's all about, their community and what's best for the community and everything. There is an elderly lady in here who she kind of takes care of here and there. No one else seems to really care about her much, but she tends to tend to her needs and everything like that. Everyone's being watched all the time. There's cameras everywhere, and there's a certain point where her father comes to visit, and she either has the option to get rid of him for good, get her out of her life, or there's going to be more severe consequences. I didn't really know what was going to happen during that scene. It was kind of pretty tense, but yeah, this whole movie is actually pretty tense. I mean, it stays... there's a few parts where it kind of drags a little bit here and there, but overall, it kind of keeps your attention for the most part. This is a pretty short movie. I believe it's only about an hour and a half, 90 minutes. But yeah, you do have Naomi Grossman in here as well, who played Pepper in American Horror Story. I knew she looked familiar, and I could not place her because she's always in that makeup, in American Horror Story, but I knew her from somewhere. And I remember seeing her at conventions and stuff back in the day. So that was a nice surprise. Always liked her as an actress. And the character of Lester, played by Clayton Hoff. Wow, you talk about a creepy from the beginning character. There's a certain point where these two are kind of joined together, but he is this really creepy guy from the very get-go. When she first sees him, he's got glasses on that one side's blacked out and one side's normal, and you come to find out what happened, why he's wearing these glasses.
You should read this.
What?
It changed my life.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks.
And you also find out everybody has kind of gone through the same thing as Sarah did. Nobody wanted this to begin with, and they all went through the same kind of torture and everything. But yeah, later on in the film, when she decides that she's going to join the community after being tortured, and they bring her to a lie detector test and keep asking her over and over, do you want to join the community? Do you want to stay here? And she kept saying yes, and they determined it was a lie. And they're like, well, we'll give you more responsibility. We'll get there and everything. Like I said, those two end up getting joined together because the character of Lester had lost his wife to cancer earlier on, and they found her to be a suitable replacement for his deceased wife. So, yeah, really, really weird movie. The kind of leader of this cult is the character of Jerry, played by Taylor Nichols. He kind of looked familiar. I can't remember what all he was from, but you come to find out he isn't really, per se, the leader. The leader of this group is somebody who had actually passed away like 30 years prior, but left them all these instructions on what to do. And so they're still following like all these rules and everything of someone who is no longer even alive. There's even a scene in here where the children are in like a classroom and they're watching this tape, this old VHS of the person who kind of founded this cult, or kind of founded the ways that he wanted this community to be, or however you want to say it. But
becomes a habit. Then it becomes who we are. And when that happens, we'll make of this world a single, perfect community.
Yeah, overall, guys, this was a really fascinating film. I love the characters in here. I love the character development. I love the back and forth between the character of Sarah and the people in the community. And you kind of have an idea. There might be somebody within the community who may not be all the way on the side of the community, that may not really want to be there. And later on in the movie, you find out the truth to that. I'm not going to give much away. I don't feel like a lot of people have seen this film. You guys know how I do. If I'm reviewing something I don't think a lot of people have seen, I try to keep it pretty basic and just kind of give you my overall thoughts, opinions, whether you should rent it, stream it, buy it, whatever. I don't do usually a whatever out of 5 or out of 10 or anything like that. One other thing I'll mention is there is a character of her friend I can't remember her name off the top of my head. It's kind of, I think her name was Lisa in the film. She comes over to visit, and at that time, the character of Sarah was supposed to go to a party that people were attending, and she doesn't make it and hangs out with her friend instead. That doesn't really turn out too good for her. And the character of Lisa is also brought into the community as well, handpicked by Sarah. And yeah, there is some backstabbing, some kind of like sabotage stuff going on too, where, you know, you think, well, people are going to come looking for Sarah, you know, but they take care of that. They leave voice messages to people, pretty much telling her to get out of her life and she doesn't want anything to do with them. And then you kind of hear some talk here and there of her friend and co-workers and stuff kind of like talking about her as well, kind of bad-mouthing her and everything. So yeah, overall, guys, like I said, I really enjoyed this movie. I recommend you guys checking it out. If you guys like movies that involve like a cult type setting, I definitely say no brainer, pick this one up for sure. If you guys are kind of iffy about it, definitely stream it or whatever first. But if this sounds like something you would be interested in, I definitely say grab it. I love most anything Dark Sky puts out. I think they're a fantastic company. Pretty underrated company. You know, you got your big labels out there like Arrow and Vinegar Syndrome and Scream Factory and all that, but Dark Sky has been putting out really good films for quite a long time. I haven't seen one from them yet that I absolutely just like hated, didn't like. I think the only recent one, trying to look over at all the ones I have, I would say my least favorite would probably be The Girl on the Third Floor, or just Girl on the Third Floor. I know a lot of people really like that one, but that's probably my least favorite. I don't know why. I think it's just CM Punk didn't do a great job in it. I think people say that he did. I disagree, but you know, hey, that's what we're here for. If we all agreed on everything in film, then it would be boring, right? It just wasn't my cup of tea, I guess you would say. But yeah, anyways, so Dark Sky, thank you so much for sending this out. 1 bedroom or 1BR, however you want to say it. It is available now. I did get this a couple days late from them as well, so I believe this came out back on like the 2nd or something. Not really too sure off the top of my head. You do get quite a few features on here. You get interviews. I did watch the Q&A from the Fantasia 2019 premiere. Really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. And I didn't listen to all the interviews. They're all just audio interviews, but you do have one interview with the talk show interview with the director and the chick that played Sarah, Nicole Bloom. It's just a really short interview with the Fantasia people, I guess, where they're set in like this like old style room. That was pretty interesting. It was only like 5 minutes or something like that. But yeah, the Q&A from the world premiere was definitely interesting. I had a good time with that feature. But nothing special on the inside here. And you know, I think one thing kind of dragging Dark Sky down below these other labels is, you don't get no fancy slipcover, you don't get reverse art or anything like that. It's pretty basic, but their films overall, like I said, have been pretty fantastic. Actually, I take that back. My least favorite was Mohawk. And then probably Girl on the Third Floor. Everything else, though, I mean, they put out the Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. They put out Texas Chainsaw, the original, way back when. Which was probably like the first Blu-ray release of that, if I remember correctly. I'm not 100% sure on that. They did Victor Crawley. I'm trying to look at some other ones here. Innkeepers I really enjoyed, and I loved Bliss. Deathgasm was awesome. So if you guys haven't checked out any Dark Sky Films releases, definitely give them a try, guys. I recommend them as a company for sure. But yeah, 1 bedroom, welcome to the neighborhood. And just remember, it's all about community, guys. You got to take care of each other and do what's best for the community. Yeah, really enjoyed this one, guys. Keep this one pretty short for you. And be sure to, I'm trying to think of what's up right now. I just ended my 900 subscriber contest. Thank you for those that entered. I have a contest going now for the digital code to The Hunt, which was really awesome. Really enjoyed that movie. And yeah, I think that's it right now. Yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. As always, peace, love, happiness to everybody, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.